What's good? This is Fees the German. I'm on J All Day Podcast. Shouts to my girl.
Mic check, mic check. Give me mic check right quick.
Mic check, mic check, mic check.
There we go. What's
Mic
cracking?
check.
What's popping? It's your host from the West Coast, Jenna, aka J All Day. And I got a very special guest with me today. Introduce yourself.
Fees the Germ.
That's what's up. So, we're going to start it off by Snack Alert, of course.
Okay.
Okay? So, new Snack Alert!
Snacks.
How do you feel about cotton candy? In general, the flavor.
The flavor, tasty.
Okay, so you're not. There's some people
It's
that
a
like.
tease,
They're
though.
like, fuck cotton candy. I hate cotton candy. Like,
Really?
yeah, some people are like that. I like cotton candy. I like candy like lollipops that are cotton candy flavored.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so Dairy Queen. We got a Dairy Queen here in Seattle, so I'm excited about this one.
Oh.
They got cotton candy dipped cones.
You
I
serious?
swear, put that on. Sounds
No.
good, right?
It sounds better than the donut, the 2 donuts and the fried chicken.
Don't even get me
That's
started on that shit
diabetes.
again.
That's like you drop dead, gone.
I just feel like
Over.
chicken and donuts, like I can have them
You
separately.
can't go with
but-
salt and sugar. You can't do salt and sugar.
But you know how they dip the cones in the chocolate?
Right.
Well, it's actually cotton candy. So I think that
I
sounds
don't
so
know.
good.
I don't know. I gotta get high real quick for that one.
And that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, after a blunt, like that could be really good.
That's gonna be a trip. Like I gotta get high tonight.
Just go try it. If you
Yeah.
try it, tag me. All right.
Got you. I'm gonna do a review on it.
There you go. And that's the new Snack Alert.
Snatch.
Okay, so Fees, what's going on? Tell everybody. I know about you. I know that you're not originally from here.
No.
So kind of give everybody that is tuning in kind of like who you are and what you're about.
First and foremost, I'm feasible to germ, capable of anything. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, South Side. I came out here.
Chi-town.
Yeah, South Side Wild Hundreds. I came out here just almost a decade now, and just been trying to lay my bones as an artist all around, not just locally. I'm the founder, creator, event coordinator of Death by Stereo Beat Battles. Man, I do a little bit of everything on Lunch Table Podcast. My co-host Cash and C and Mitch Pfeiffer. Shouts to my dogs.
Yeah, shout out to
Stinson.
the Seattle Lunch Table.
Yes, indeed. I'm all around a public figure, someone that supports financial freedom, entrepreneurship. I just believe in going out there setting the tone. You know what I'm saying? Chase your goals and don't let no one tell you no, man. I'm a big believer in the underdog story. So that's just really who I am in a sense. Like I'm an underdog. I've always played the underdog role, but I love it. I love my story. What is coming right now for me and what's about to manifest at this moment. Like I'm working on my next project, Renegade Fabric 2. It should be out by the summer. You know what I mean? Like I got my guy Creeps on there producing, PJ Beats.
So are you rapping on this album?
Oh yeah, of course. Always rapping, always spitting. But I'm doing a little bit of different things on that too. So be on the lookout for some diversity on this project. You know what I mean? Like a little bit of everything that everybody can enjoy. I'm using my pitch, my tone a little different this time around. That way everyone can relate to it. Because my boy Marcus used to tell me in high school, he'd say, "You sound like you from the Bay," because he's from the Bay. He's like, "You sound like you from the Bay."
That ain't a bad thing.
I mean, for me, I was kind of like, "What does that mean?"
Wait, hold on.
Because I love East Coast music, but I also love. He put me on the Bay music.
Yeah.
So when I used to listen to, he put me on the Matt Drake Keep the Sneak. He put me on to what's Matt? He's on the live. He was on the live just now, but he put me onto a lot of people to where the vocals I use very similar to a Bay Area artist, and I was not aware of that.
Yeah. Well, you sound like you from the East Coast.
Right,
so
right, exactly.
I would have been shocked. I would have been shocked. Like, wait, what?
Like, huh? What are you doing here? Like, what's my man's up here doing?
So are there any projects or, I mean, you just said one project coming out, but do you do any live shows or anything like that?
I fell back from doing live shows in this city simply because I got tired of being misrepresented. When you do certain shows, people butcher your name all day, and I'm just like, bro, get my name right. It's not
that's the least
freezable.
you could fucking do.
And that's why I shortened it to Fees the Germ, so that way whoever the promoter is at the venue can get it down.
Yeah.
That's not, if he finishes 8th grade
like,
education.
Fizz, what? Like can you
fees,
read, bro?
like, you know what I mean? So I try to make it easy as possible for people, but I'm getting back to doing shows. I've seen you guys posted something up coming up. The sauce event you guys have coming up. You and Casey.
Well, not me, but I like to support Casey with what she does.
Shouts to
I think
Casey.
that she definitely supports local artists, and
True,
I mean
true.
she's pretty much damn near married to a big local artist.
Yep,
So,
shout out to John B.
shout out to her. He's gonna be on the show soon too. I'm gonna try to get him into the podcast
Good
hopefully
folks.
this month. But you know, you just support good people, and
Definitely.
that's where like me and Fizz over here knows funny.
And she called me. I'm not pretty and light skinned.
Listen, no, I would never compare you to Fizz. He's a fucking joke.
Is
But
he a backup dancer or a rapper?
It doesn't matter anymore because now all they see is just April when they see Fizz.
April she getting a bag right
Man,
now.
that was
She
so
does
dumb.
credit repair.
She does?
Yeah.
That's so funny. We were just talking about that. He actually started doing credit repair,
Yeah.
which I have no idea what that entails except for repairing people's credit.
And no, we get rid of. What I do is I started doing credit repair. Not too long ago. Pretty much what we're doing is we're getting rid of foreclosures off your credit report, late payments, debt, anything we dispute. Pretty much how it goes is I enroll you under our program, so you gotta pay me for the service. I have discounts, I have the prorate service, all of that, whether it be from $88 to $49. I usually use the $49 just to weave you in, just to let you know, reassure you that hey, you're signing up with me at a discount. On top of that, I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna make sure day by day you're taken care of.
I'm gonna hook you up that way you can be a little more comfortable.
Good look. I'm gonna take care of you day by day, and check in with you weekly to let you know how the repair is coming along. So what we do is we pretty much look into your credit, do a soft pull on the credit report.
Okay.
Do a soft pull. After the soft pull, we look into see what you have on any dispute that we can handle. We let our lawyers take care of that, and then from there you pay a total of say $89 a month for the next 45 to 90 days. So that's 3 months.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? 90 days is 3 months. We take care of it from there. Your credit score goes up by a couple notches. You know what I mean? After that,
that's dope.
Foreclosures, late payments, debt, anything of that matter is gone.
That's
Even
dope.
even restitution fees if you're an ex-felon.
That's dope. So if you have any credit problems or questions, he'd probably be a really good person to reach out to.
Definitely.
And can people just DM you if they want
You
to?
can yeah, definitely. I prefer to DM, or you can just contact me through email, deathbystereo808@gmail. You can hit me in a DM for my number, my direct line, so that I can explain it better, or we can just set up a meeting.
Okay, that's really good because so many people have such fucked up credit, and it's like something where like you don't really think that it's important until you really need that shit, and then it's like you're screwed if you don't got it.
Exactly. And the reason why I got into it is because I don't work a real job. You know what I mean? Like I do this, I'll do Lyft, and just keep it like that. And the reason why I do that, and most rappers will never admit that they do these things.
Well, right, they don't want to look like a normal person.
I mean, we are normal people. We're a part of society. We're a product of America. And this is we're all about the hustle. That's what America breeds, is hustlers. And that's no matter what color you are. The Asian man that came from the Philippines is a hustler.
Yeah.
The Caribbean
if you ain't
man.
got no like trust fund or family
yeah.
money, then you have to hustle.
Exactly. And I got tired of listening to the next man to tell me to work for the next man and fulfill his dream. I was like, nah, I'm feasible to jam. What am I doing here? Like,
I do what I want to do.
I come from a family of very independent people. Like, you know what I mean? My pops is a writer. My uncle is a published author.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody in my family were hustlers.
Yeah.
They never worked real jobs.
Right.
Until now, because
you have to. You're almost pushed into that, and we're made to believe that shit too.
That's a fact. And I woke up one day and I was just like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. My woman supports me on it, and I just said, let's move forward, let's go. And she's like, I know you know how to hustle. I've seen this from day one. So whether it be legal or the other thing.
That's the facts right there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you've ever been to the point where you're doing illegal stuff to make money, then know that you can do non-illegal stuff to make money. You have the full capability to do that shit.
And my thing is too, the reason why I push the credit repair is because you have so many artists out here that are in debt. Right. Because they're trying to play catch up. Yeah. Or they don't have credit. Or
you're spending all this money, but you ain't making no money.
Exactly. That's why I started Death by Stereo beat battles. Yeah. What I would do is pay people for beat sets, and I would put up $1,000 of my own money for cash prizes, whoever wins out of these battles. The reason why I do this, I don't do it for clout, for one. I do it to help my culture. Yeah. I don't care what color you are. Exactly. That's what it's about. And as a hip hop culture, this is media, dance, fashion, art, music. This is all a part of it. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, if you really want to make a difference, you got to put on some kind of way. Some people see it as, Fees, you being too nice. No, it's not me being nice. It's the fact that I have to make sure I got to play my part in this world. Yeah. If I don't leave my mark in this world, my kids don't have nothing to stand on. They're like, my pops was this is not okay. Why we never heard of him? Right. But at least they heard about me in at least 2 to 4 different cities, and hopefully the world one day. You know what I mean? So hopefully in space, hopefully on Mars.
And still, I have to remind people too that just because someone's never heard of you doesn't mean that you're still not getting that bag.
Facts.
So that's what you really have to worry about. Fuck who's ever heard of you. It's about what you're producing, what you're putting out into the culture, what you're doing to make that movement stronger,
right,
and getting money.
Hold on, we can curse on it?
Yeah.
Man, fuck them. Yeah, you gotta run that.
I'm like, this
run
is uncensored. Go ahead. You actually posted something that I reposted on my story the other day, and if you maybe you could remember it. I don't remember what you said word for word, but it made a lot of sense, and it's about practicing your art.
You have to. You have to post every day. You have to be in the studio session. Like my method now is, I was a year, 2, 3, 4 ago, I fell off as a musician a little bit.
Yeah.
I wasn't working on my music as much. I was building platforms. I was helping build other platforms. And I did it all for the right reasons. And I feel it's actually all coming back for me in a good way. But I fell off as an artist, and I had to remember what made me special again, because I lost my drive.
Yeah. I
still love music. I was still loving music at the time, but me being independent, wanting to work on it, I was just in a bad rut. You know what I'm saying?
Don't you think that I was actually talking to homie the other day about this, but when you make your hobby your career, it really fucks with you.
It does, especially when that was the reason, and I had a real job at the time. I ain't gonna say a real job. I had a 9 to 5 at that time. And that 9 to 5 drained most of my energy.
Right.
So by the time I got home, I was supposed to be playing with my shorties, paying the ladies some attention and all that, but the 9 to 5 had me wiped.
Right.
So that, and then once the craft becomes your career, your job, you hate the business.
It's just discouraging. I think that's the perfect word to sum it up. Even this podcast stuff. If I don't have a guest, like I was even telling you before, or if I have to edit this shit, I have to figure out things to talk about. I have to do a lot of work to put in. This isn't just like me, let's get in the studio and let's just talk about shit.
Right.
Like there's a way I go about it. And sometimes, especially when you're going through other shit in your life, it's like, I don't want to do this shit. You know what I mean? Like, why am I even doing this shit?
That's definitely.
But that's a real thought that people have when you do stuff. You know what I mean? Everyone goes through a period of their life where they have a craft or a hobby that they're really good at, and you go to that when you have stressful days, right? It's almost like relieving. But then when you make that something you have to do, when it becomes a have to, then it's like, bruh, I don't know if I can do all this every day and still love it as much as I loved it before.
Facts. And this is something I had to look at too. Now that you say that, I'm going to ride off that. I once told myself, actually I told myself this before I took my trip to New York. I just got back from NY not so long ago. Shout out to Black B, shout out to DJ Skeletor, Nero and all them. I sat back and I thought about prehistoric days. I thought about when we were hunting for our own meals.
Yeah.
And I watched the evolution of that. It turned into a group of people doing it together. Then it became a dozen. Then it became a company. And then it became jobs. And then it became processed farms and manufacturing, And then I sat back and thought, I got to rewind. They say you can't go back in time, but I got to take it back to when I got my own pig. I don't eat pork, pause on that, but I got to go out there and get my own boar.
Right.
And bring that back home
to feed your family.
Yeah, skin it, clean it. So I'm out here doing my own thing. I'm like, I still, I'm putting them taxes down. I still pay my taxes.
Right.
When it matters. You know what I mean?
It's about that survival, man.
It's all about the survival instinct. You got to be dangerous, man. Like we were actually, you know what? Like we were talking about earlier. With Creed 2. Yeah. When Rocky was saying that kid is dangerous. Right. Michael B. Jordan's like, I'm dangerous. Yep. Like, what do you mean? He's like, nah, not like this guy. He goes through it. Yeah. And he's fighting for it.
Right.
You got everything you wanted in life right now. And I feel like I need to become dangerous again. Not just as a hustler, but as a musician. No, you need to remember who the
fuck you are.
Exactly.
That's what you need to do. That's what we all need to do when we go through periods of times like that where you're like, yo, I don't want to do this shit no more. You gotta look in the mirror and be like, who the fuck are you?
What do you stand for? What title do you hold?
What do you want?
Exactly.
Because everything will stand still as long as you stand still.
At this point in my life, I realized something. I said, not many people are willing to do what I'm willing to do to make sure that success is guaranteed.
Yep.
Bellies are full. In 2020, I have not had a full belly on food.
Yep.
Anything that resembles comfort, or symbolizes comfort.
Yeah.
I can't be complacent in 2020.
No.
I have to have it.
Uncomfortableness.
History has to be made. You feel me? And I feel that with everybody. Whether you're selling shoes, editing videos, podcasts, entertainment in general.
Yeah.
This is your year to make something of yourself. And if you pass up on this, you miss that one-way train ticket.
Let's talk about being comfortable for a minute, because I think that that goes to say with a lot of things. Relationships.
Definitely.
I am a firm believer in when people get comfortable, shit starts to deplete.
Facts.
And you need to constantly, if you got a relationship, you've been in a relationship for 10 years, like 10 yourself.
Years. 10 or 11.
You get comfortable, y'all never go out, you forget to say I love you from time to time.
Facts.
You never have intimate moments.
Facts.
Because you're comfortable. You never get dressed up, you never look good. You know, you do all these things and it ruins that.
And that's how take care of yourself on top of it.
You have to. You have to. And that's what it is with jobs too.
That's a fact.
Always think that day might be your last motherfucking day.
Factory.
And in the radio world that I lived in for so long, you know, I always was trying to think of my next move. And for the first time, when I actually got semi-comfortable where I was at, because we was a new show and, you know, there was contracts involved and stuff like that, I was like, you know, I should be good.
Right.
But then what happened? Got laid off. No one saw it coming. Budget cuts out of everyone's hands. That's Factory. The company, right?
Factory.
So I didn't have a plan to go to after that. So it's like, you know, you think that something's forever. But how many people have you talked to this year? Because I feel like it's something that's just happening in the world. I talked to people that worked for companies for 20 years and they just got laid off.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, a lot of people, especially with Boeing, that work for Boeing.
That too. Here, but there's like small companies that they can't afford anymore, so they're just laying people off. And what are those people going to do? You know what I mean?
Online is taking over. Online is taking over. AIs are coming into effect.
Robots.
Taxes. Yeah, it's coming. You know, I believe in electronic prosthetics are becoming a thing to where we're entering the robot phase, the android phase, and we might the evolution of mankind that's not in a good way.
No.
And I'm really big into theories, especially the AI thing. Like I went to the bookstore once and I meant to buy this book. I think I'm gonna go buy it today. I got enough pocket money, you know what I mean? So I mean, like
Thanks for knowledge.
Exactly. For knowledge, I'm in it. But it's definitely a wave coming to where they're gonna use amputees or amputees in general in order to be able to walk again, use your arm or some sort. They're gonna have you hooked on to someone that's connected to your brain and to these prosthetics. And what happens from there? The evolution of that technology is going to be scary. I
think about that stuff all the time.
I'm sci-fi all day, so I'm thinking about it.
Survival of the fittest and everything.
Facts.
I feel like there's like this whole coronavirus thing. Like I don't even know what to really believe about it or not.
God.
Honestly, I feel like part of me is like, okay, a couple years ago, if y'all remember, there was the flu, right?
Swine
and everyone was like, the flu, we got to get our shots, you got to get this and you got to get that because you're going to die, and people are dying of this flu, and the elderly and the babies and this and that.
Facts.
And then what happens now, all of a sudden, around the election time as well,
I said this on Facebook. I said this on Facebook.
Everyone's not traveling. Situations, there's been like tons of like the firefighter stair climb that they do at the what building is that? I don't fucking remember. But the LLS, the Lymphoma Leukemia Society, they do a stair climb to raise money for cancer.
Facts.
They had to cancel it. First time in like hella many years that they had to cancel this because of the coronavirus. So all of these corporations are canceling things. JetBlue hit me up on email.
I flew from JetBlue.
And they was like, oh, we're canceling flights, we'll give you your money back and this and that. They're literally scaring people to not go out into the world. Now, I don't want to get this shit. let's not play around. Like, I'm not out here like, nah, the coronavirus is fake. I don't think that's the case at all.
Nah, it's not.
But I do think that they're making it so much bigger.
For pharmaceutical dollars to go up, election years here.
You know what I'm saying? They just spent, what, $3.6 billion on to try to get it fixed or cured?
Exactly.
My sister's a nurse, and my sister, like, hit me up. She was like, I'm so fucking scared for you. You're in Seattle. There's been another case and this and that. She's like, the scariest part is we just can't find a cure.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing Bernie Sanders said, I was on a plane flying out of JFK, and Bernie Sanders was on CNN. Everyone on that plane tuned into that.
Yeah.
Everyone. It was probably like 3 other people that was watching Hustlers starting J-Lo.
Yeah.
But he made a good point. He said instead of having politicians look for a cure, let's put these scientists in position to do this.
Well,
why haven't we been doing that?
The facts. That's what I'm saying. I feel like everything's so backwards all the time, and I feel like there's a lot of black and white answers, and people don't want to do it. They rather just sit in the gray and make it a big, huge thing and have people scared. And next thing you know, it's like there's fucking California that no one can come in, no one can come out. Washington is like, I mean, what the fuck are we supposed to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it's definitely this. Man, before you know it, in 20 years from now, there's gonna be a dude named Negan coming to your small ass town where everyone's damn near died off, man. It's looking grim.
It is.
It's looking very grim for
humanity. Literally
humanity.
Zombie shit taking over. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like at the same time, if you're healthy, if you're taking care of yourself, well, then you should be good. Like, sanitize your hands, whatever. Like,
you know who has the big? I hate to put people out there like this, but especially a group. I would say foreigners have a habit. Certain group of foreigners have a habit of not being as hygienic.
Clean, yeah.
Yeah, and like I sat next to this guy on my way to NY. He was waking up, and mind you, there was space between us in the seat.
Yeah.
There was no one in the middle seat. I had the aisle, he had the window.
Right.
He's waking up out of his sleep, and he's digging in his nose and like going up and down with it. He's going up and down with it like this, like, and he's stretching while he's doing it. He's stretching while he's doing it. I'm looking at this dude like, motherfucker, you touch my jean jacket that's sitting in that middle seat.
Oh, it's on.
Air Marshal want to fuck me up to get me off of you.
Right.
And he damn near touched the jacket. After that, I snapped out of watching Hustlers on
Yeah.
I was watching that.
Watching J-Lo.
Right. He, he toots.
Yeah.
My man farts. And I'm looking at him like, I want to say something so bad.
You better than me, because I would have been like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, I damn near did it. But then this is the part why I had to tell him something. I had to whisper at him. I didn't want to embarrass him.
Right.
And I definitely didn't want to look like I was an angry man on the plane.
Which was like, well,
I didn't want to Samuel Jackson.
You're like the black man on the plane.
I'm the black man that looks like somebody on that fucking plane. I look like somebody.
Right.
I am somebody. But so he has to go to the restroom. He says, I have to go to the restroom real quick, please, excuse me. I'm like, hold up. I grabbed him by the forearm. I meant to grab him by the arm, but I grabbed him by the forearm.
Yeah. I
said, bro, you walk fucking past me. You crop dust me. You do that again, we're going to have fucking problems.
Oh, it's just respect, bro. Like,
and I got him. I didn't get back to my seat. He went to the restroom. I stayed out of my seat for 15 minutes. And I stayed by the little, JetBlue, they let you go for the snacks.
Yeah.
I stayed by that, and because it's been between in the middle aisle between the snack bar and the restroom. Yeah. I stayed there for 15 minutes till that shit cleared. Even though it didn't clear, it swarmed through the damn the airplane.
Right.
I was pissed. I was highly pissed.
That's when people travel or when they go places when they're sick.
Mm-hmm.
That's what bothers me, when they're coughing on everybody and everything. Cover your fucking mouth.
The flight back was like that dude sat next. I
automatically get paranoid because you're in a plane. There ain't no air.
I did this.
Like,
yeah, exactly. I did the same thing.
I can't do this.
I did the same thing on everything. Oh my god.
That's the worst. That is the
worst. I was
worst.
like, you motherfuckers will never have me traveling like this again. We got a flu going around. A virus.
That's the thing. I'm going back to Cali in the middle of this month.
Okay.
Because I have like a doctor's appointment. I haven't changed doctors for like my whole life. So.
Oh, so you got that family doctor.
It's just like the one that like I go to. You know what I mean? It's my woman doctor.
Like,
so it's
Jay, welcome back.
You can't just have like more than one woman doctor. Like all the females will feel me on this. Like when you have to go to your gyno appointment, I know I'm sorry to hear, but you got a wife for 10 years. Like
right.
It's like you don't want nobody filling around you, whereas like
Touch
they
them
don't
all
know
that.
you know what I'm saying?
Nah.
So it's like she's so quick, she's like one and done, like boom boom out. So I'm like, I just gotta stick with her.
Yeah, I
so I'm making that trip to go all
Let me
the
ask
way
you
back
this
there.
real quick.
Yeah.
Side note.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I had a physical 2 years ago. The
Okay.
woman didn't check me in my area.
At all?
Didn't check my
Like
dick
didn't
ball.
ask you to
none
call
of that.
for nothing?
Nah.
Really?
Big Jamaican woman didn't want to touch me.
Really?
My girl was like, "Oh hell no, we're going back.
Yeah.
You need a full physical."
Yeah.
It's like she didn't do any of that. I was like, she didn't touch me for shit.
Well, I know as women, like say you have one partner.
Yeah.
You get a gyno appointment when you're a certain age every 2 years.
Right.
Right. So there's if everything's fine, everything's cool, like she doesn't need to see me and stick up anything anywhere, right?
Right.
But then after those 2 years, it's like you got to just go in just in case cervical cancer, things like that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean that's the whole point of it.
Yeah, I'm really upset about that. I was like,
You got to go back, bro. Like you
Yeah.
forgot to.
check this meat.
You
like,
forgot this shit.
you gotta check this meat. Salami
Okay.
rocket.
Let's take another right real quick. Recently I just got on this new show. It's a little Dicky show called Dave.
Factory.
And I told Fees, I was like, you gotta watch this shit because on the second episode, he says something really, they have a conversation. And I was like, you'd be the perfect person to talk about this with because it made me start thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And lately with my situation and jobs and just going through some hardships of my own,
Right.
I've been talking to God a lot lately.
Yeah, right.
This is not going to be a religious thing. I stay away from politics. I stay away from religion just because
Same.
it gets messy. But I'm not going to talk about the actual different kinds of religion.
Okay.
What I want to talk about is, did you get to the second episode?
I got to the second episode where what he named that died?
Josh.
Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he made the song.
So there's a part where Gata, which is his homie that he has, right?
Random too.
So random, right? But
Very.
it's perfect the way it works.
It sounds
it's a
about
good-ass
right.
show.
Yeah.
And Lil Dicky, of course, is playing Lil Dicky, and he meets this dude named Gata, and they end up becoming friends after some other shenanigans shit happens. Well, they're having a conversation at this cheesesteak place, and Gata says to him that he's never had to have faith,
Right.
or a relationship with God,
Right.
because he's never had to struggle. Everything that Dave, because he's Jewish in the show, and we all know Jewish people are like, the stereotype is they all have hella
They got
money,
the bag.
right?
They got the bag.
And he plays himself, like I said. So
He got that YG verse.
yeah, don't ruin it for people. You can't ruin the show. Just watch the show.
Watch the
Anyways, so he says to him, you ain't never had to talk to God because you've always had everything that you want just right there in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So I started thinking in my head, like, does faith have a straight connection to struggle?
Yeah.
And then it started making me think even more. Like, is something with privileged people, because I'm not one,
Right. Right.
do they have a relationship with some kind of faith or God as people that aren't privileged do? And it just made me, it's a deep thing, because right away you answered it quick. And I agree with you.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that, Jewish, for example, they're very religious people.
Very.
But I think their relationship with, and I'm just going to use God, okay?
Right.
No matter what you believe in.
Okay.
But I think that there's such a direct correlation with it, because when you have nothing, who do you reach out to?
When I have nothing, I reach out to God.
Exactly.
I really, and the reason why I say that, because I had a very traumatizing childhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where I had to go through some things, and once those phases was over in my life, and I was entering my teenage years, I had to learn how to control my temperament and my emotions and all of that. So when times got hard, whether we were kicked out of an apartment complex, had nowhere to go, I was hungry, something happened, traumatized, whatever, I've always looked to God.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point in time in my childhood I attempted to commit suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And I never shared that with anybody, not even with my mom. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for sharing that.
Hey, you know what I mean? This message is out there for those that's going through it.
It happens to so many of us.
Right.
And I would be lying if I didn't say that I've had suicidal thoughts recently. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
It's a rough fucking world.
It's definitely a rough world. Like, my father always told me this as a kid, like, you know, you walk around, you walk into life, you can't expect happiness at all times.
No.
You got to be a fighter, no matter what you're going through. You have to be a fighter. You can't just lie down and accept defeat.
Right.
And he told me this. He used to tell me, Troy, you're gonna break down. My real name is Troy. He's like, Troy, you're gonna break down. And I said, no. And I remember we walked to the store. We didn't have any money. And my mom moved us to Tennessee one year, '93, when I was 5 years old. And pretty much we didn't like it. Yeah. We from Chicago. We like, I was born a city kid. I'm raised a city kid. You know what I mean? I'm from it. So my dad didn't have any money. My pops didn't have it. And he was a heavy drug user at the time. He really wasn't about being accountable for certain things, but he was instilling a lot of gems in me because he didn't want me falling into his shoes.
Right.
And
well, he was probably trying to escape.
Exactly. And we were walking to the store. We were walking for some miles. I'm not gonna lie. Like, and he continuously said to me, "Troy, you gonna break down?" I'm like, "Nah, no. We whether we run together. I'm tired or whatever." He's like, "Troy, you gonna break down?" And it took me back to, He Got Game. I'm segueing. It brought me into He Got Game, where Denzel was asking the young Jesus Shuttlesworth. He said, "You tired?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "You tired?"
Yeah.
That right there coincided with when I seen that movie, I teared up because it reminded me of my dad.
Right. So
it was like when I thought about it, I'm like, dang, like you gotta be a fighter out here, bro. Like you have to fight. You can't fold, because at the end of the day, someone said this. I can't quote who said this, but why wait to die to get to heaven? We're living it. And we need to appreciate this.
Yeah, there's actually this really good book called The Four Agreements. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It's a really cool book. It's The Four Agreements. I forget, the last name's Ruiz. And it talks about how everybody can get to their own heaven on earth.
Right.
And it's with these 4 agreements. And one of them is like no expectations. It's a lot of knowledge, and it is a spiritual book. It's a very short book too. So if you are looking for like a self-help book that has really that shit got me through some hard times.
Right.
And so many quotes in that book, I remember writing them down on Post-its and just sticking them on my walls everywhere.
Okay.
And having them so I could read them every day, because it was like, you create your own happiness. And as much as that's hard to do sometimes, like I have to remind myself, you create your own happiness. That doesn't cost any money. It sure fucking helps if you have money and you don't have any stressors.
Right.
But there's always gonna be something else.
It's always gonna be something else.
And you just gotta, you gotta keep going. And there's times where it's just like, it's rough to do so. But what I noticed after I heard that, going back to this whole Lil Dicky thing, was like, I never really thought about how those two intertwine so strongly. Because like you think, people say there's always sayings for God, right? Like he's never on time, but he always shows up, right? All these things, and even you look back years and years and years ago, slavery days. That's the only fucking thing that got some people through. Faith and song. And what were those songs about? About God.
Exactly.
And whether God's real, whether he's not, no one's ever gonna know. But I believe that it's important to have faith in something. It can be an elephant for all I care.
There you go.
But if you believe in something, like that will give you just a little bit more to survive. You know what I mean? So I thought that was just really deep.
It really is. I'm big on surviving. I'm big on survival in general. Like my girl, she'll tell you firsthand. When she moved to Chicago, I was already back home living there. Yeah. But she moved to Chicago from here. Yeah. Because I met her. I did 2 years of high school out here. I met her cousin at this heavy Crip house party.
Out here?
Yeah.
What?
These are
There's
islanders.
Crips out here?
It's islander Crips.
Oh.
From Long Beach.
Ooses.
Yeah, you know, from Long Beach. So it's like
ALBC.
right. So I'm like,
You're like,
bitch, like the fuck? Like, you ain't one of the homies hopping on you. Like, she's like, hell no. I'm like, all right. But she moved to Chicago and she saw what kind of person I was in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I'm a different person when it comes to me and her.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, I said, I have to hold my shit down because this is like prison.
Yeah.
This is survival.
Uh-huh.
Like they see weakness.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, I told her, I said, don't you look at no other man. Like even if you just glancing over real quick to see who it was, they sniff that out.
Yeah.
Like don't make eye contact with motherfucker. I said at the same time, don't show any signs of the weakness of crying at the window when the police got me on the hood of a car.
Yeah.
Like don't do things like that because my enemies are watching from afar.
Right.
And they're trying to pick at me.
Everybody's always paying attention when they're not paying attention.
Exactly. So when she saw that and how I was moving and, you know, the things we had to do to survive, because I had to hold down me, my brother, my stepbrother. At that point, any part of my life, I had to hold down somebody.
Which is beyond stressful. You barely can hold down yourself.
Exactly.
And now you got to play dad to everybody else that you actually
I had to play
care
dad
about.
to my dad. Like, you know
facts.
What I mean?
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where she understood true survival after that. You know what I mean? She used to freak out all the time. Like, we're going to be broke.
Yeah.
I'm like, woman, if you don't relax, like, it's easy to get some money.
You know, it's a scary thing.
It's
a scary thing.
Is.
And that's kind of like how I feel about this whole situation of being kind of unemployed right now is I feel like it's really scary to not know your next move, in a sense, when it comes to money.
Right.
But I also know that I'm gonna be okay because I'm always okay.
You're always okay.
And I'm always gonna be okay because I make myself okay. Exactly. And now that I got a good partner, you know what I'm saying, which I've never encountered in my whole entire life.
It looks like Safari.
No, he doesn't. Everybody always says he looks like somebody. I'm like, he really don't be looking like him. But he's got the nice teeth without the fake grill.
Right.
But it's nice to have that support. But you know, it puts a lot of pressure on a relationship as well.
It does.
And that shows right there, like the tough times that you got to get through. And if you get through those, then that shit's meant to be.
Fact.
But you know, it's hard to remind yourself that you are that GOAT.
Nah, and see, my woman, man, like she full blown supports me. Like she believed in me when, like.
You didn't believe in yourself, probably.
Man, like I'm talking about, like she stuck it through with me, and I really commend her for it.
Woman.
Like no, for real, and she cooks a good meal. You know what I'm saying?
That's another win.
She taught me how to write checks. You know what I mean? Like we met young, but like she taught me certain things, and I taught her certain things that you know we filled each other out. We made up for whatever we lacked on on certain ends. So it worked out for me to the point where I look at her and I'm like, man, like what I'm forever in debt with you for sticking and riding with me.
Right.
Because I don't expect anyone to ride with me.
And you can't expect it. It has to be their choice. But you know, hopefully that person rides for you like you ride for them.
Exactly.
And that's what makes it work.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
It's nice not to feel alone, even when you have people. You sometimes feel alone. But I know that if shit were to really ever be bad, like I know I'll never not have a home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like simple things like that. Like when you've been in situations where you don't know when you're gonna eat next, you don't know where you're gonna sleep, and all you have is a car. And like I remember me and my pit bull Trina, like me and her, that's why me and her are so close. We've been through like the gutter of gutters.
Right.
And I took her places with me. We figured it out. We shared meals.
You know what I'm saying?
And you learn that shit, and it makes you stronger. But it also, it makes you a little bitter in a way too. But I think kind of in a good way.
You learn you find a new level of appreciation.
Completely.
Like
that's better than bitter.
You know
Bitter's a bad word to use, but I think you understand what I'm
better.
saying. Yeah, but you feel what
I'm saying. It's
hard not to sit there and be like, why fucking me again?
Exactly.
Why me and this?
Exactly.
Why are you doing this to me, God? It's really hard not to get yourself in that mindset and be that victim.
I was that for so long as a kid, starting at 7. Like from when I was a baby to I was 7 years old, my parents just couldn't. Like once they just couldn't get along. My dad was like a heavy drug addict. He was in the streets. I remember the day he got hit by a car when he was supposed to be watching me.
Right.
And then I remember they brought him home. He was like, "You remember that? You were just like 2 years old."
That's
I'm
just
like,
six,
"Word?" I was like, I remember when they got into I'm sorry, I witnessed a lot of things enough to be like, okay, nigga gotta really get his shit together in order to remember who the fuck I am in a sense. So when I have my moments of breaking down, I lift myself back up when I look at what I've been through, and then I look at my kids.
Yep.
Like my son and my daughter are just a spitting image of me. So when I look at them, I'm like, they admire me. So I've never had, besides my woman, I've never had anyone that admired me that I took notice to.
Yeah.
So when my children show that, I'm like, I gotta know who the fuck I am out here, man. Like,
well, it's not about you no more.
Exactly. It's not. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not an ego. It's more so like I got the title wrapped around my shoulder right here. You know what I'm saying? I got a chip on my shoulder that I got to hold for them.
Yep.
And when it comes to that surviving, when it comes to that temperament, like, cause it be days people want to blow their goddamn head off. Like the Joker movie, it just takes one bad day.
Swear.
Just takes one bad day to fuck it all off.
Or it takes one person not saying, "Hey, are you okay?"
Yeah.
Like sometimes that's all that somebody needs.
In this world, we're practicing too much bullshit on top of that. Yeah. This is the era of the clout chasing. And we're so stuck on it to where we've forgotten how to be genuine people.
Well, we just everybody wants to do what everyone else is doing. It's like, oh, okay. So like Dwayne Wade's son. Okay. Oh, yeah, he puts him out there, or her now. Right, I'm still a little confused about that whole thing. But
I'd say I'm confused too.
But without getting into that, it's like everybody wants to say, okay, he's being supportive of his family. Let's support her and him and what they're doing, and this and that and this. And then you have, say, like this turned into like a whole fake thing. Everyone would be like, "Oh yeah, I thought that was stupid. Why would anybody ever do that? I would never do that with my family." Like, what? You was just on their side, telling everybody how you thought it was stupid. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, it's
too much for me.
That's what like they say. It's two type of people in this world: there's weirdos and dick takers, and it just goes to show, like, even with this whole Nipsey, well, I'm not gonna say this whole Nipsey Hussle thing. When Nipsey passed, people were praising him. I'm the first person to say I rocked with Nipsey's music, but he wasn't my top 5.
Yeah.
I loved his interviews.
Well, hey, here's a fucking fact alert right here. He wasn't anyone's top 5 because he wasn't even in the fucking, he wasn't even on the Billboard.
He was independent.
So why all y'all are sitting here being like, "Oh, he was my favorite artist and I supported him and did this." How? When?
How?
Who? Because I was listening to Nips way before he even came out like that.
Right. I mean, we talking about this.
Yeah. That shit pissed me off. Right. But who am I to say you can't be sad over this person?
Exactly.
I can't.
I'm not gonna lie. When he passed away, I cried, bro. I cried my ass off.
It was probably the first time in a long time where I've cried over an artist. I think the last time I cried over an artist was Aaliyah. And it's because I woke up in the middle of the night, and she was somebody I looked up to. She was a tomboy. She was my style. You know what I'm saying? Like,
she fit that cloth.
She fit that for me and made me think, wow, it's possible for me to be me and get into this industry.
Exactly. I found out in church. My grandmother used to make us all go to church with her if we stayed at her house. Like, you go to church in the morning. I was like, damn. But I found out at church. We were like,
about Aaliyah?
Yeah, we were like, what the hell are they talking about? Girl, we at the church?
She was like one of my idols.
Oh man, I used to be in love with Aaliyah as a kid. I was like, I hope she looked like this forever. So when I catch up on age, that's me.
She probably would have still looked just like that too. But yeah, that whole Nipsey thing just got under my skin because I just feel like all this stuff is based off of attention. Yeah. Let me post him and be sad so somebody can be sad.
And click my
you know what I'm saying? And to me, like, I couldn't even. I don't know what I would do if I was Lauren London. Like, I would have been like, everybody get off the fuck off my line. Don't talk. But she can't do that either because support is support. You know what I'm saying?
The thing that disappoints me when it comes to rappers doing this, like, I was a little disgusted with some people that use Nip as a bargaining tool when it comes to their music. An artist posted on Facebook, I got this song with Nipsey that never came out, I'm gonna post it. He posted it. And I was attempting to say something, but I'm like, I don't do online back and forth.
And at the end of the day, it's not worth it.
It's
like,
not. It's not. It's like. And then I'm adding stock to that. Yeah, I'm adding more stock to it. So if I pay attention, I'm passing the itis around. I'm like, I'm not passing that energy around.
No.
But I was just very disappointed in this artist that did that, and I'm like, okay, that's one. Then you see other artists doing it as well. That's on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, y'all gotta chill.
I just think it's so funny.
More name dropping than Game ever did.
That's what I'm saying. Like clout chasers are being hated on by other clout chasers. And everyone wants to call each other clout chasers. But no one's actually standing up that's not a clout chaser being like, no, you're a fucking clout chaser, you're a fucking clout chaser. All these rappers, 90% of them now are clout chasers.
I mean, that's the wave now. That's the energy.
And the reason why it's continuing is because society is letting it happen.
Because society doesn't have direction.
Why does all the same nowadays? Why does everybody look like a Kardashian or try to look like a Kardashian? You know how fucking old that shit's gonna be in like 10 years, 20 years?
Try 5.
I think it's old now.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers are doing it because that's what people think is attractive.
That's a relevant thing to do.
What I've noticed the most is like I see people that are attracted to like more masculine looking women nowadays. There's like something going on.
There's a switch going on in the world.
The only reason is because that's what people want to see and that's what people like. Like that's not even. I really feel like that's not what even people like is Kardashians, but because we're told over and over again that it's good to have a fucking fake fat ass and it's good to have fake lips and it's good to not have any wrinkles and don't smile too big because, you know, your gums show. I don't know. It's just like there's all these things that are like stipulations that make people feel like they can't be themselves. And then we're just ruining each other.
It's a way
you know what I mean?
The world is so big. I was actually talking to my boy.
Crazy.
It's vague. It's very vague and shallow right now.
But it's vague and shallow, but pride. You know what I mean? But and all this like power to the people shit.
Right.
No, they don't go together.
They don't.
You can't be fake and everything about you fake. And I don't even know what you really look like, Kylie Kardashian, but then fight for the culture. What?
It don't add up.
It doesn't make no sense.
It don't add up. And you're gonna have someone at their defense to say, people are free to do free.
And you're right.
Yeah, but that shit ain't genuine.
But just you can't go to somewhere and picket fence about something you don't like, and then turn around and go do that same thing that you're picketing against. You can't do that.
People don't know how to follow up. Yeah, everyone's a walking contradiction these days. Some people gonna claim Muslim, but they do the opposite of what that stands for.
It's just like, I miss people having individuality and originality.
But here, people are scared. People are scared to think individually because the moment they do that, everyone bashes them.
Hell yeah, but they also have to see through that shit. Mm-hmm. If people are bashing you, it's also because there's some type of envy within that. Mm-hmm. If someone goes out of their way to try to make your day bad when you're minding your own business, why the fuck you letting that affect you?
Exactly.
And
why are you inviting that energy? Why are you
inviting
the energy? And it's sad.
Yeah.
Humanity shot the shit right now.
It really is.
It really is.
I was thinking about I don't have kids yet, and I was thinking recently I don't know if I want to do this shit.
Man.
I don't know if I want to have kids because of so many different things. I mean,
population control.
The theory of just that the world's gonna end at some point and sooner or later.
2025.
Climate control, things like that. Go. But then there's this also thing where it's like schools, shootings, kids, fucked up parents. You have all these people that are just creating monsters. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, do I even want to put a child into that world? It's scary.
I'll share some with you in confidence, especially for all the viewers out there. I stopped working a 9 to 5 for the simple fact I snapped at my old job for this. And I don't mind sharing this because I want people to understand that this shit is very important as parents and as loved ones. My kids had to walk home from school. I don't live too far from my kids' school, but it was a rainy day.
Yeah.
I was trying to hurry up and get out of my job. I was off in time.
Yeah.
But the manager wanted to speak with me. And I'm like, I gotta get my kids. He said, well, you gotta come see me, da da da. And I'm looking at the job I work, it was all the numbers game, inventory, all this and that, XYZ.
Yeah.
When my daughter had to use the restroom, and I didn't get to the house in time. I was already on the road, but she didn't make it to the restroom.
Yeah.
My son tells me, Ellie peed on herself.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I quit my job.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done.
Like that was like.
I said, you guys are putting my parenthood in jeopardy.
Right.
Because you want to have a BS, no, fuck that, a bullshit conversation with me because you want to waste my time.
Right.
You want to take my time away from me just so you can have power.
Yeah.
So what I did was, in return, I just pretty much half-assed the job the following day and said, yeah, y'all take care of this shit. I gotta go. I got shit to do.
Yeah.
And then the day after that, I did the same thing. The day after that, I did the same thing. Monday come around, I gave him my 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Gave him my 2 weeks. I treated that shit like it wasn't nothing to me because I already have. I had to remember who I was again. But my thing is to say that that's why I got out of doing those things. I need to be closer to my kids.
Yeah. We only have one life to live.
We only have one life to live, and I'd be damned if I let a job get in the way of me being there for my children or being there for my loved ones in general.
100%.
You feel me? Like this money, material bullshit
comes and goes.
It comes and it goes. Like Big Meech even said it best. You can't take this shit with you.
Nah.
That's a fact.
You can't take nothing with you.
None of that. I don't give a damn if you King Tut and they buried your ass with all of that. You can't take none of this with you because at the end of the day, if that's what made you, sad world for you. My pops used to tell me, and his father told him, you gotta dress the inside before you dress the outside.
Yep.
That means you gotta be a man of good character, man or woman of good character, integrity, all of that. Before you put on some Baby Nature, before you put on ice cream, before you put on Balenciaga, before you put on Givenchy, before you put on any of that bullshit.
Facts.
I don't spend no money on no European brands. I dress like a goddamn athlete.
Same.
Even when I'm out of shape,
Same.
I stick to dressing like an athlete. And
Slides,
hell yeah, the
spandex,
most I'm gonna
switches,
spend on some clothes. Maybe my shoes.
Yep.
Because I love shoes. But at the end of the day, we're investing into the wrong things and we're walking around this world caring about what the next motherfucker think, and we shouldn't be giving a damn about what they say.
And I think social media has everything in the world
They got a hand in it. They got a full fucking hand in it because it's social validation.
Oh yeah. You ain't good enough if you ain't got the new fucking shoes or whatever it is.
I never gave a damn about I remember like my pops used to tell me this. He said, how many friends you got?
Yeah.
I was like, I got like 2 friends. I want to make some more friends. He said, don't rely on having friends. Be your own man. Be your own mob. When he told me that, it just stuck with me for so long. I just never cared to be in those groups and those. Cause I saw right through it. I knew you only cool with certain. That bullshit. And I saw that as a kid at a young age. And I never cared to be a part of it.
I peeped that too.
You know what I'm saying? Like you just like what the fuck?
It's a lone wolf thing because I don't forget what people said to me or what people did to me because there was a point in time where I was new in a school and ain't nobody showed me love. I was like fucking an ugly duckling walking around and nobody wanted to fuck with me. And then just people was just like treating me like I had the plague. It was a new school. I didn't know what the fuck, you know what I mean? And I just remember like when we got in like the end of like middle school, high school, I was somebody that knew I was in the streets, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I had the whole different mentality of like what shit was about. And when, the same fucking bougie bitches that were giving me a hard time, all of a sudden wanted to be my friend because I knew what was up.
Exactly. So
and I was the type of person that I had friends in every crew, but I was always a lone wolf. I had maybe one best friend, and then I'd have like another best friend, and then I'd kick it with, and they were usually guys, because girls treated me like shit most of my life.
Factory.
And my mom,
most women like
she spit game to me from the jump. She told me when I was real little because I remember having a birthday party that nobody showed up to, and she was like, "I'm gonna tell you this: you're gonna be a girl, and you're gonna have problems with other girls, and they won't like you.
That's a fact.
But you just gotta ignore them and keep it moving." And so all my best friends are guys. They always have been.
That's how my girl situation was. Like that's how me and her became friends. She didn't have any female friends. She had like probably like 1 or 2.
Yeah, that's it.
And I was like, damn. But for me, I have more female friends than I have male friends.
Yeah.
I never understood that. Like I really did not understand that. And it was like now, I'm a grown ass man. I see why now.
Yeah.
I'm an alpha.
Yeah.
But I'm not the alpha that's gonna be like, I'm barking on you trying to tell you what to do. I'm like, I have my own mind.
Well, I think that's what's most attractive to people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think a lot of people fuck with me so much.
Right.
And me being in this area in Seattle for only a short period of time and gaining listeners that really fuck with me is because when they hit me on a DM, I hit them back as if I'm a normal person, as I'm friends with them.
Right.
I'm not just like, yeah, or just blow them off. You know what I'm saying? I'm a different person. I'm somebody that's like, I give a fuck when I talk to people, and that
is real.
You know
Because when we first met, your energy and your communication level, like you're eye to eye.
That's what I'm saying.
Like you really, I noticed. I was like,
it's because I'm not. I hate disrespect.
Factory.
And I'm that person that I will give you respect until you don't give it to me.
Right.
And when you don't give it to me, you turn into a fucking tree. Which means that when I walk past you, you do not exist. And people feel that.
Damn.
And when people say, oh, Jen doesn't fuck with me or Jen is a bitch, why don't you ask them why?
Right.
Because there's always a reason behind it. I don't just fuck with I don't just not fuck with somebody just because.
Right.
Just because I feel like acting funny. Never. There's a fucking reason why I don't fuck with you, and it's either because of your character or it's because something that you've already shown me yourself.
Because you played your hand already.
You played yourself with me. You know what I'm saying?
I got on some shit with people recently. I'm like, you know what? Because here's my thing. When you sit down with people, you're there to build.
Yeah.
You're there to build. And I've had people that I would say, hey, want to link up with you, politic with you, It's always to build and figure out a way how we can help each other grow.
Right.
It doesn't have to be, I got a money grab for you. Nah, like I'm really doing I watch you, I look at you, I observe, I'm like, yo, this would be a good move for you.
Yeah.
Just try it out, or even like let's run a little process together, figure a little method out, whatever. But I've had people in the past where we've linked up. Actually, it wasn't even linking up. It was me just sitting there waiting for them.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro, you wasted my time.
Right.
And someone always told me, they said, if someone's 5 minutes late, you get up and walk away.
Yeah.
Even though I don't follow through that entire thing.
But if you're 5 minutes late, you better give me a DM or a text.
Yeah, exactly. Let me know what's going on.
I swear to God, you don't know how many people will be like, oh, they're fine. Like, if say I'm late to something or whatever, and I'm like, have somebody else in the car, I'm like, oh, I gotta hit so-and-so. Oh, they're fine. We're only gonna be 5 minutes late. No, you don't understand.
Communication is the key.
Because the next time,
is the key.
When you're late and they have somebody after you or whatnot, they're gonna be like, you know what? Fuck her. Let's take on the other person.
Right.
If you call them, then they're like, okay, she's usually good about calling or whatever. Like, it's just about character. It's your fucking character. And if you're a piece of shit person, you're gonna get treated like a piece of shit.
It shows. It shows.
It really do.
It's gonna show. That all comes to the light eventually. And it is the thing too. When you really set out there to really rock with people, I need everyone to understand this. When you're out in this world, you have to go by like a horse or a dog in a racetrack.
Okay.
What do? They race.
Right.
But what are they not doing? They're not looking to their left. They're not looking to their right.
They ain't worried about that.
They don't see nobody. No. They see the finish line.
Yeah.
I need everyone out there to practice that method. You don't see anyone to your left or your right. You focus on that finish line. Facts. You focus on a goal. You were born in this world alone.
And you will die alone.
You're gonna die in this bitch alone.
When I say that, everyone's like, "Wow, that's really morbid." I'm like, "But it's hella true."
It's the facts.
Like
your memory, you're a memory to everyone after you're gone. So they're gonna praise you and love you for, or they're gonna hate you for whatever energy you left in this universe is what you left in this universe. Facts. But at the end of the day, you gotta focus on the finish line and yourself. Period. Yeah. Mind your goddamn business and keep working.
Shut your mouth. Just keep on running.
Right.
Okay, so let's get to the outro questions real quick. Okay, so first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
I kiss my woman.
Okay, I like that one. Favorite cereal?
Oh, why would you do that?
I'm so happy this is a hard question for you because this is such a hard question for me.
It's between Reese Puffs.
Really?
Yes. I remember the first year they came out, 1995.
You're the first person that said that so far.
Reese Puffs, yeah. It's a draw between Reese Puffs and Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, everyone says Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, I mean, cinnamon, it's easy, but I mean, these days...
I just don't like how they get so soggy.
They do get really soggy.
Like soggy.
You know what? After, like, within 5 minutes, it gets soggy at the bottom, and you got to pour more because you feel like you didn't have the full amount. That's why I was like, nah.
I know.
Crunch Berries was on my list, but
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch, but the Crunch berries though.
Oh, just the berries.
No, not just the berries. Yeah, sometimes just the berries. But I had a situation with my girl once where we first moved in together. We in Chicago.
Yeah.
This is my second crib by myself.
Yeah.
She's moving in. This is her first spot. She's like, we run around the house naked, whatever, spontaneous, young, wild. I get the Crunch berries.
Yeah.
That was the only thing we had in that goddamn refrigerator. Like, dead ass.
Hey, I survived on the cereal for months.
So I had to go to the restroom one day. We got off the train. We were supposed to go to this, my homegirl Tatiana's barbecue for her birthday. But we got off the train a little early at Loyola College. And I had to go to the bathroom so bad, like I literally shit it out.
Crunch berries?
Crunch berry colors. It looked like Dr. Seuss came in effect all hours. I told my girl, I can't eat that shit no more.
Damn, you ruined Crunch berries for her. You tell her I'm so sorry about that. Can't get that dish out your head. Damn.
It looked like Dr. Seuss and that motherfucker.
What's one thing someone would be really surprised to know about you?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
I'm artsy.
Like, do you draw?
Yeah.
You can like really just draw.
I've been drawing. That's what weaved me into music.
Really?
Yeah, I've been drawing since I was like 5 years old.
That's really dope. I always find it really interesting that people with their left side of the brain that's more dominant than the right are usually artistic people.
Very.
And I am very artistic as well.
Really?
And I can draw. I used to be able to draw really good, like characters, Goofy, Lion King, things like that.
I did Spawn, Dragon Ball Z,
I used
Captain
to do
America,
like Fairly Odd
Wolverine.
Parents, just like, but I could only draw by looking at a picture.
That was
I
me.
can't do it out the top of my head. I just have to look. But I stopped drawing for so long because it doesn't come easy to me, but I can do it, right? But I sing and I taught myself how to play piano and things like that. So I just think that when you have that art in you,
it kicks in.
That artistic vibe in you, you have the ability. Like if you sing or something or play an instrument, try to do something else that's artistic, and I promise you, you'll probably be good at it. Maybe not really good at it,
but you have a
but you'll
talent.
have
You have
some,
a lane.
Yeah, you'll have some type of talent in it. I promise you that.
I did that, and that's why like, a lot of people look at me like he's a little different. Like especially for being from Chicago, I was the only person in my hood that knew how to draw.
Yeah.
Like the only dude. Well, I'm not gonna say it. The only dude in my hood that was like. That was about that life, but drew, but I never shared that with people. Yeah. Like I kept that to myself.
You probably do like poetry and stuff too. Then.
I do some spoken
that's
word.
How, like,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
I do a little bit. My father was dead serious. My pops used to do this shit. This is why I learned how to write. Write better. He used to show me how to write in columns. He said, when you write your verses, write in columns. He told me this when I was like 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
But what he would do is, when I was a kid, he would take me to these like that's another side story. But he would do something where he would do his poetry out loud.
Yeah. And
I would have his notebook. I still got his notebooks to this day. But he would do his poetry out loud. And I used to wonder why he would do that. And I learned, I said, he was working on his vocal projection.
Yeah. And
so whenever I hear him recite his poetry, it's powerful shit. Like my pops is one of the dopest niggas that I've ever heard do poetry. He's better than his brother. And it was just crazy to me because when I learned how to use my vocals, I use a different voice when I rap. And it's not, no technology kicks in on that. Like this is me learning how to train my voice since I was 13. Yeah. Like my cousin, exactly. Even though it sounds feminine, but
no,
I know,
it's not an actual diaphragm. We all have diaphragms.
Yeah, right. But no, but I learned how to use that by watching him.
Yeah.
And so I did that. I learned how to play violin in 3rd grade. I played from like 3rd to 5th grade. I'm just a different kind of dude. Like one of my low-key obsession shows to watch is like was Golden Girls.
Yeah.
I used to love watching Golden Girls.
I'm just like that. Like I think that's why we got along straight from the jump. I mean, the way that I approached Fees was like kind of.
She was ready to fight.
I was a little hypey.
She was like, what?
I walked out, but like, so what was you saying about what?
She was bombing. She was like.
But I tried to keep my composure.
I thought the flag was gonna come out.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
But he saw the passion and I saw the passion, and that's why both of us was kind of like, all right, like we don't know each other, but I have a feeling that there's something bigger that we both care about that will unite us.
Factory.
And there was.
Factory.
So that that's dope. What's your proudest moment?
My proudest moment was when my man, when I became a parent for the first and second time.
Okay.
Like that really, I cried. Like I
As
cried.
you should. You just made life that looks like you. Like that's fucking crazy.
When my son came out, he didn't really cry, nothing like that. They laid him down.
Yeah.
And I looked at him, I'm like, you look just like me when I was a baby.
That's crazy.
And he just looked up at me.
Yeah.
And it freaked me the fuck out. I'm like, babies can do that? Like, it tripped me out. And I cried. I was like, damn, like, me and my wife did that. And when my daughter was born, I looked at her and I was like, you admit, because we had some pregnancy scares.
Yeah.
Leading up to her coming.
Yeah.
And we weren't together when she got pregnant with my daughter. We were like separated. We weren't fucking with each other. It was just like bad blood between us. Yeah, it was bad blood with us. And we just smashed on Valentine's week and oop, you know what I mean? Ellie comes in the world. And it just I talked to my girl about this. I said, yo, she was really fighting to be here.
Yeah.
And when you look at her personality, she's a daddy's girl. Like she's a hardcore daddy's girl. Like and that's oh my God, it's some wicked shit.
That's blessed though. You're blessed for that. You're blessed to have a boy and a girl.
Man.
And you know, if they're anything like, I don't know your wife, but I can only assume that she's a good woman.
Oh,
like,
very good person.
I feel like I could get along with her.
No, you can't.
I don't say that about a lot of females.
She's
they're bound for greatness.
At least,
you know what I mean?
she doesn't do the mean girl bullshit. She's all about just, hey, like, you know, come as you are.
I'm like, I guess and no other way to explain it, but like I'm just like a little boy. I'm just like a little boy, you know what I mean? So for me, it's like, hey, what's poppin'? You know what I mean? But like, once you get me fucking mad, like you'll see a whole other side of
you see that bullshit
you know
come out,
right? What's your favorite thing to cook?
The lady cooks. She cooks more than me now. But my favorite thing to cook was always in the beginning. It was always beef curry.
Ooh.
Beef curry, yeah. Nice. I was into it. I threw pineapples in there.
Okay.
So I was like, I was on that. I was on that. Like when I learned how to make that, that was my go-to.
Everything.
Curry every fucking thing.
What's your most hated house chore?
Fuck. Clean the damn dishes, man.
I hate the dishes.
My son piles shit up. My daughter sneaks dishes in the sink.
Even with kids too, that's even worse.
It's like I got some lazy ass kids.
And like I have a dishwasher, but I'm also very cheap. So for me, I'm just like, we don't run the dishwasher unless we have to run the dishwasher.
I'm like that too.
We just clean our dishes. And I swear,
my mom taught me to do that.
You know what I have with a trick like in my house, but you can't do because you got kids. But right. I literally only own 4 sets of everything. So only 4 plates, only 4 bowls. Like only 4 glasses, because I know my ass and I'll be like, oh, new one, oh, no, and next thing you know, you got 8,000 plates.
I done bought some goddamn cups I had no business buying.
See?
Just because they look nice.
I have more mugs than I have of anything.
We got like 14 mugs in the crib.
Swear to God,
Disney
but
store
plates
shit and all
like,
that.
If we use 4 bowls in a day, guess what? The bitch is cleaning the bowl.
Suds.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Last question is sour candy or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Really?
I don't do it. I mean, I'm telling you. I like sour candy.
Damn.
But my mom's she's the 4 p.m. eating Captain fucking Crunch. She's the chocolate. Like she gave me the sweets. It passed off to me. My daughter's like that. Like I fucked up one day and gave my daughter, because my dad used to give me Haagen-Dazs ice cream bars when I was 5, like with the almond on it. You know what I'm saying? So he would get that for me. He'll give me a comic book. He put me on a comic. I'm a comic geek, so I'm Marvel Comics. But he used to do that. So one day, I was leaving out of what's that joint called? That's that half price grocery store. Save a Lot. Is this, no, not Save a Lot. That's in Chicago.
Grocery Outlet.
Not Grocery Outlet. It's another one. It's
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's by the hospital by Valley Medical.
I don't know.
Oh, I forgot. But Winco. That's called Winco.
Winco. Yeah, they don't got them here.
Yes. No, they got Winco here. It's hidden in Federal Way.
Oh wow!
It's hidden in Federal Way and
Renton. I've been to is in like Chico.
Bro, it's hidden. It's like an untapped. It's an untapped spot. It's untapped.
That place is cheap. That got me through college.
And there you go. And then buddy, he be selling tamales in the parking lot. But
shout out to if
you
need a plug.
Right. No, but so like I gave my daughter. She was like just probably a couple months. She see me hop in the car with the Haagen-Dazs ice cream bar. Anytime she pokes out her tongue and drools, that means she wants what you have.
Yeah.
And I was like, I looked at her, I said, I'm gonna just let her get it. And she said, oh my God. I created a fucking monster.
I always told myself that if I have kids, I'm just gonna say that like yogurt is ice cream and just fuck their whole lives up until they get old enough to actually try ice cream.
I had to put supersize on for my son to stop wanting to fucking eat McDonald's.
Oh, I did that to one of my nieces too. I took her to the McDonald's for the first time. I never knew she didn't have it. I thought she was like, I want French fries, and I was like, okay, let's go get French fries. Her mom was like, why the fuck you took her to McDonald's? I'm like, because she wanted French fries. She goes, she's never been to McDonald's, and now she wants it all the time. She's Happy Meal. I'm like, whoa.
Where's my toy?
My bad.
That's all I want is my toy.
Remember, I'm also doing this thing, Fees, where people can ask for advice. Like, I get a lot of DMs all the time when people are going through things. Right. So, I've gotten a lot of, like, fitness ones, but if you have some that are, like, you know, a little, something different, like relationship advice or just career advice, anything, you know what I mean? Mental health advice, like, holler.
I would say I got 2 to 3 of those, but I'll share the easy 2. In relationships, communication is the key.
Yes.
I know time's gonna get hard. That's, you know, you're gonna lose energy for people, but communication and don't be afraid to wear your heart on your sleeves with your significant other.
Yeah.
Like if something's going on with you and you're feeling a little down and out, and you're feeling depressed, anything like that, is very, very important to communicate that with your significant other, because they need to know what's going on before they start questioning what's going on between y'all.
Exactly, and that can get real convoluted real quick.
Yeah, because I went through a spiral where it was going bad, and I lost my grandmother and my aunt within a week apart from each other.
Yeah, that's rough.
And it took a toll on me because, for one, I love my grandmother to death. That woman loved me with all her heart, and my aunt Renee, I lost her, and it was like she was one of the biggest influences in my life. Yeah. So that it took a lot out of me. And I didn't even know it was affecting me until I realized that I was grieving over it for so long, and I didn't communicate with my woman about it. Yeah. And we started to fall off. Yeah. I was growing up away from her.
Because it's normal to think like, well, if you're acting funny towards me, like there has to be something wrong. You're mad at me. Like, why are you mad at me? And then if you don't talk about it, then all you do is assume, and then next thing you know, you come to have a problem that doesn't even exist.
Exactly. And I was doing a lot of out of pocket shit. So it was just and I didn't know where that behavior was coming from. But then I began to see certain shit. I'm like, oh my God, I lost myself. So you find yourself back, and then when it comes down to just fitness, man, I'm getting back in that now. You see me with the bottle of water. Tomorrow, it's the weight room and a lot of cardio. So
I feel you. I just did my run today. So
I see your man. He in there. I'm like, this nigga look good. God damn.
Like, I know. He's like a professional. He has me doing some stuff sometimes, or like he'll say something to me like the other day. I was like, it's so weird. I was on the treadmill and I burned like 800 calories doing the same thing the other day, and then today I only burned 500. Like, what the fuck? He was like, well, don't look at the clock. Just keep on going until it says 800. I said, I'll be in there on the treadmill for 2 fucking hours.
He said that exactly. Yeah. His expression was exactly the same, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was like, don't say that to me every day. I'm not even a fucking professional athlete, all right? It's different for us. Leave me alone. But yeah, no, he works really hard, and he's actually getting back from knee surgery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just got knee surgery last week, and he's healing hella good.
Okay.
He did a lot of rehab on it today. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's trying to learn how to use it pretty much again. You know what I mean? Really? So yeah, he had a tear in his
meniscus.
Yep. I know, crazy, right? Well, you can always hit me up on IG at JOLDay87. Y'all know where to find me. And where can they hit you up?
Fees_the_germ on Instagram. Fees the Germ on Twitter. Troy Thurman on Facebook in case you want your credit repaired or event planning.
Facts.
We're everywhere. Renegade Fabric 2 dropping this summer. Lunch Table Podcast, we're coming back. Hopefully, if Mitch finds the resources, and I'm fucking with you, bro.
Mitch is calling you out, Mitch. No, actually, I'm gonna have them come on the podcast too. So everyone's kind of making a round this month.
Please do.
So I'm having y'all come through.
Shout out to the Lunch Table.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you coming through though.
When you hit me, I was still in NY at the time, and I was like, yo, like I was geeked. I was geeked. I
fuck with people a lot, but there's a lot of people here that like I made connection with, and I just feel like it would be stupid for me not to have you on my podcast.
For me personally, you somebody I really fuck with. Like I support what you're on. Like even when you announced the podcast when everything with Cube happened, I was like, yo, like she's gonna land on her feet, like she's gonna be all right. But at the same time, it would be good to reach out to her and let her know that.
And
like,
you
know
did,
what I mean?
And I really appreciate
like,
it.
I'm all about good people, so it's like if you
Same.
bring energy, bad energy and that bullshit, like you keep that over there. We can't. That shit is not like where's the no cap shit? Like, like yeah, we don't need none of that.
Nah. None. I'm good. I got plenty of haters everywhere.
Too many.
Don't need any more. But anyways, all right. I guess that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Time to play some Mortal Kombat.
Peace.